No, there are plenty of reasons to be at least skeptical about the way Jeffrey Epstein died. The overworked guards working for free, apparently, the botched suicide protocol, the autopsy, which apparently showed injuries that are more common in homicides than in suicides. And then this week, there was another development that's surprising, if not more than that. Officials said that the video footage of Epstein's first attempt at suicide at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan are missing, apparently have been destroyed. Just a short time before the show started, officials said they'd recovered the footage, though it remains to be seen if there's anything suspicious about it or what's on it. In fact, we have no details whatsoever. That's why we're happy to be talking to Ed Gavin, a retired deputy warden for the New York City Department of Corrections, and he joins us tonight. Ed, thanks so much for coming on. What do you make of this?
Well, the fact that the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing is certainly suspect. Yeah. Another thing that I would say I would add to it is that when the probe team initially responded to the attempted suicide, they should have responded to the area with a handheld camera. So in addition to the cameras that are fixed in stationary positions on the walls, the officers should have been recording everything going on during the response. So really, they should have had two sets of tapes. So something is not right. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing.
Well, especially in this case. I mean, this wasn't some guy awaiting a DUI hearing. I mean, this was the most famous prisoner in the United States, about whom there were all kinds of conspiracy theories. There was daily press coverage of his imprisonment. I mean, there was a ton of attention. And so, given that, these lapses seem even weirder.
Well, yeah, in addition to that, the fact that they placed Jeffrey Epstein in a cell with Nicholas Tartaglione, who's a former Briarcliff Manor, New York police officer. I mean, Tartaglione is a suicide risk and an escape risk. I mean, I have a letter from Maureen Comey, the United States attorney, in my hand here, and I was doing some research. And I learned that on July 3rd, in this letter, it states this, that 20 days before Tartaglione became a cellmate with Epstein, he was found to be in possession of a cell phone. How does a maximum security prisoner like Tartaglione, who allegedly killed 4 people, one who has ties to a Mexican drug cartel, get a cell phone into his cell? Now, that's contraband. Now, his attorney is now trying to stop the government from getting a search warrant to check the phone out. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on at this place, but it gets crazier by the minute. And then I have another letter from Tartaglione's attorney, and he basically states in some substance that Tartaglione is suffering from depression. He was assaulted. He received a wanton gratuitous beating when he was taken out of protective custody, and he's got a metal plate in his head. So why would you put these guys in the same cell? This whole thing doesn't make any sense.
Well, so what you're saying is the guy who was put, for reasons that are not at all clear, into the same cell as Jeffrey Epstein was communicating with unknown people on the outside.
Well, we don't know. I mean, the fact that he was able to get a cell phone into a federal jail, and he's a maximum security prisoner, and he's an escape risk and a suicide risk, and then you take Jeffrey Epstein, who's also an escape risk, and the reason he's an escape risk is he's got $557 million in the bank, and he could pay people to facilitate an escape. I don't know if you're aware of this, Tucker, but since 1978, there have been 6 attempts in federal prisons where people have flown in helicopters to remove inmates from custody. So anything is possible. So I don't know what this warden is thinking about over there, but security is basically thrown out with the bathwater. I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense.
Epstein, I mean, maybe more to the point, was in the possession of a lot of incriminating information that might destroy the lives and reputations of famous and affluent people.
Let me say one more thing, Tucker. Our government has failed us. When the federal government first had to prosecute Jeffrey Epstein in 2008, he should have gone to jail under the federal charges, and he didn't. And you know what the biggest failure there was in my investigation, that I believe in that investigation that no one is talking about? And it's this. Child Protective Services was never notified. There were never any CPS involved, and these children should have been taken to a child advocacy center.
But you know who was notified? An entire legion of lawyers, some of whom I know here in D.C., both Democrat and Republican, who got him off. Tells you everything. So, Ed, great to see you tonight.
Thanks for having me.